Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the New England Patriots taking on the Denver Broncos. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
And off we go from Denver. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback at 6'2" out of Auburn. It's Jarrett Stidham.
Brandon, I know he isn't at the status of some of the elite names in this league, but I do know he's an absolute fighter because he's heard all the criticisms. He's read the articles that say he isn't good enough to be the starter, and he absolutely does not care. All he wants to do is prove every doubter wrong and show that he belongs in this spot.
Here's Stidham. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. Milton Williams, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early second down and long. On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. Nothing there, no gain, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 15. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle it for just a short gain.
He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Here's Jones. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Patriots take over. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
To the air, May. Short pass caught by Henry. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
It's a gain of 7.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
And it brings up 3rd down.
Here's May. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm quite sure that they envisioned a much better start to this game when they practiced all week. But they failed on that 3rd down play. That brings up 4th down, and they'll probably have to punt it away.
So on 4th down, here's Bryce Behringer on to punt for the Patriots. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that. The nickel look, 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Another run here with Dobbins. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. 45 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 14 yards that time for number 14.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
He's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Chason. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. On a delay of game there, they could not get the playoff in time.
Frustrating for the head coach, frustrating for the offense. Sometimes you have to get the play call in a little bit quicker.
Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Still 2nd down.
A handoff running left is Dobbins. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman, the ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Broncos field goal. A 46-yard attempt.
The kick by Lutz is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-0. Well, both teams kind of feeling each other out here. Now after 3 drives, we have a score with that field goal.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their breakout drive to come to them, all right? They're using the playbook well. They're looking for that extra section that says touchdowns instead of field goals. But they'll take the 3 for now and try and get set up for more later.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll bring up second down.
Oh, I see you nodding your head along with me, partner, because it's pretty obvious what they were trying to do there on the drag route. With his speed, they're hoping he can turn the corner and maybe take this to the house. But that was excellent work defensively to make sure once he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere.
From the shotgun, it's May. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early, but they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. We're going to throw May. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 43. After the interception, here's Stidham. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Franklin. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
And the Broncos, first down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Now Stidham. Over the middle, complete. That's Franklin.
Complete to Troy Franklin. A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 43-yard line.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 8. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And he swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now it's Stidham. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Patriots are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
And now out come the Patriots. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground with Henderson. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Throwing here is May. They set up the screen for Henderson. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's 3rd down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
To throw, it's May. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Denver's offense now set to go. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Oh, I don't know if he's sensing contact to come or what, but that's a ball he'd love to have back. That could have gone for big yardage, but it just didn't want to stay in his hands. That's a tough break.
Play action. It's Stidham. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Christian Barmore getting in there to drop him. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. The Patriots going with a dime package here. 2 extra defensive backs on 3rd. Stidham. Setting up a screen for Harvey. And they'll get him down here at the 23. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. $3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Patriots in control of the football as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
They'll throw with May. Gets this complete to Butte. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
A gain of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down.
From the gun, it's May. And that's going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's Bryce Behringer now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. J.K. Dobbins leading the way as the offense returns to the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Looking to put a drive together. They go play action with Stidham. He'll air this one out for Mims. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay, because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Stidham. His throw incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
This offense so far on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Stidham. And he goes down. It's a Patriots sack. Christian Barmore. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On 4th down, Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. Looking to put a drive together. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it, because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
They go play action now. May. And he spots Henderson open left side. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
From the gun on third down is made. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, Davis.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? And they'll begin by running the option. What a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. And a solid job using his legs. 16 yards and a first down on the keeper. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh, my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
That was a nice grab. Just couldn't get the feet down, right? Need that toe tap sequence there. Whatever size shoe he's wearing, probably need about a half size smaller to complete that one.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now it's Stidham. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Stidham to throw. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. The linebacker, Robert Spillane, making a big play. But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. The kick by Lutz is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. New England's offense set to go. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and make sure he spills it for a small gain.
They'll run the jet sweep with Douglas. Oh, and this one, and they need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try to figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Stidham. Now he'll tuck this and run. And that's incomplete.
I know we spent a lot of time talking about how the defensive backs read routes and make plays on the football. How about a good linebacker? Feeling the route, seeing the quarterback, jumps the play, and knocks it away. Really well done.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. And he coughs up the football near his own goal line. And it's picked up by the Patriots. He won't get in, but they are going to have the football in a great spot. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
That's a down and distance coaches always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
So quite a turn of events. This is 1st and goal from the 3. Stevenson going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
May going to give it to Henderson. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
On 4th down, out comes Andres Borregales for the Patriot field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a 1st and goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
After the made field goal, back out is Borregales to kick this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over. We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Stidham. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
Here's Jeremy Crawshaw now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Patriots ready to try again on offense. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Well, there's no disputing. He's made some poor throws in this first half, but this was a good one. And you can bet this is an offense that isn't going to pull back. They believe in what he can do. So all you can do is look forward, and they pick up a 1st down.
He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
From the 46, here's 2nd and 3. To the air, May. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that one. He read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Here's May. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Here's Bryce Baringer on now to punt.
For the Patriots.
He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos coming out now. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly, and this one could be coming back. Well, that's Garrett Bowles, the former first-round pick, the guilty party. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Back to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Stidham from the shotgun. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And the Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Stidham is going to keep it on the option. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
33-yard line.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Now Stidham. And this will be caught at the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. 43 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now it's Stidham. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Franklin. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. He'll drop to throw. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's up and good to make the score 13-3. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Pats going to get one final possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. To throw, it's May. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Riley Moss. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they'll start with a short field following that turnover as they look for points here before the break. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. After the interception, here's Stidham. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. That'll go for a gain of 7. And it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the Patriots.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. On the left hash, this from 48 yards. The kick by Lutz is good. And the lead stretches. 16-3 now. Well, they got the turnover in great field position, but unable to do anything with it. And they're left taking the easy 3 on the field goal.
Yeah, you're right about that. A great chance at a short field touchdown. On a sudden change, you take the ball away. You expect your offense to put into the end zone, but they'll take the 3 for now, even if they feel just a little bit let down.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's airing it out for Williams. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Broncos are going to get the football back as time will run out in this 3rd quarter of play.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the downtown Orlando studios. Scott Hansen and crew with you for a short and sweet halftime, as this game's had a little bit of everything to it. We'll find out which side can establish some tempo in the 3rd quarter as we're ready to kick off the 2nd half. Back out to our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Scott, thanks very much. And we welcome all of you back here on EA Sports for quarter number 3. The Patriots trailing here, but they will have the football first as the 3rd quarter is underway. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And Charles, I mean, look, you don't bench a starter of his caliber, but 4 first-half interceptions. How do you handle it from here?
Well, the easy thing is right away you try and run the football, take some pressure off of him. But you know the defense understands that as well. My second thing is give him throws that are safer, throws that he's confident in, the ones that he likes to make. And that way, you try and get his confidence back up.
He's going to take another shot here. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. That pass complete. Here's Butte with it. And he'll get nothing out of that one. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else. And now it's 3rd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And that is too far out in front. He couldn't haul it in. Incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdowns scored in this game.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fielded at about the 28. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the 2nd half.
Their own 29-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together. They go play action now. Stidham. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And it'll be 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. Up the middle, it's Harvey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
Stidham, 3rd down from the gun. Pass taken in by his big tight end. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
This is where you can try and get a tight end in space. They like this matchup, so they're going to let their two receivers to his outside run simple little short routes, hoping to suck up the secondary. And that'll free up space for their tight end on a corner route to make a big play.
Stidham. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Credit the sack there to Harold Landry.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Stidham. Over the middle, complete. That's Franklin.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Broncos first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
That'll be complete to Dobbins. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will extend their lead even further. So the lead extended, and I think at this point you say, hey, defense, take us to the end.
Well, if I got some good music to put to that, I could have a good country hit. I like the way you expressed yourself there. I think the offense has done enough so far. But like you say, if your defense is only giving up 3 points, makes it a lot easier to settle for field goals on this side of the ball.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. New England trying to get a place on offense. Hey, Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is let get going.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. A carry by Henderson to start the drive. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Throwing here is May. Well, this is caught by Williams. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try to run for it with Henderson. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
The Patriots send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep.
Run what
Put
you
your
do
foot on
best.
the gas.
Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Now a 2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Here's Stidham. To the sideline and incomplete.
Thrown to the sideline and incomplete. Jack Gibbons on the coverage.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Stidham to throw. And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
And that's one of the few things that has not gone right for this offense so far. They've had their share of big plays. That was nearly another. But somehow, he just couldn't squeeze it.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Looking to put a drive together. The drive begins with a run by Henderson. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
And that's one of the better plays we've seen this offense put together so far. They haven't been able to get on track much at all. But listen, they're only down a couple of scores with the rest of this quarter and the entire fourth remaining, so stranger things have happened.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Patriots, first down. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
May now off the bootleg. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
At this point in the game, and the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
2nd and 10 now. 3rd quarter action in Denver. They'll throw with May. A quick hitter complete. It's Henderson. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
On now is Andres Borregales to try the field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will cut the lead down to 13. Well, maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space, as you said, for it to curl in.
After the made field goal, back out is Borregales to kick this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Broncos offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Yeah, still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he's going to have the Broncos first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
A gain of 12 yards. That's another Broncos first down.
Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
Excellent job pushing through tacklers that time to pick up 6.
He's across midfield.
So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th. Now they'll throw it with Stidham. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Now it's Stidham. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. K'Lavon Chaisson picks up his second sack of the afternoon. 3rd and 1, they opt to pass it, and the one thing happened that could not happen. They took a sack.
Yeah, I just wonder, is that an indictment of their offensive line? Did they think that they couldn't move them enough to pick up a first down there? Or was it analytics? Did they think about it that way? In any event, they'll be studying that in the future.
The Broncos send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And the punt will kick out of bounds, and it'll be spotted inside the 30-yard line. So the Patriots coming out now. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Looking to put a drive together. From the shotgun, May with it. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
From the gun again to Henderson. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Here's May. Left side caught by Diggs. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
If this were baseball, we'd call this small ball. Instead of pushing it downfield, they throw a short pass trying to pick up the first down, but the defense rallies to the football and stops him short, bringing up a 4th down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. The Broncos offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball. Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
And his throw is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Evan Ingram, the tight end. But now it'll be 3rd down.
3rd down and 13.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Oh, able to avoid him. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And the Patriots will have great starting position as they take over 1st and 10. On first down, it's Henderson. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Another carry, same story. Fourth quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
They'll find Henderson out of the backfield here.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
To the air, May. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
For a Patriots first down. It's a gain of 10. First down, Patriots.
And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Able to hook up with Williams here on the out route. Short completion, just 4 yards. And it's second down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
The tight end Henry here in motion. Out of the gun, they give to Henderson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. We've seen this a few times in this game. That offensive line just, I don't know if you want to call it out physical, out tough, whatever you want to use.
And what people do when that is happening, when they're getting dominated that way, they spread things out a little bit, make it more of a space game.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Brandon Jones with a big-time sack on third down. It's a loss of 7. And when a free safety goes like he did there, he better be sure he's going to be able to make a play.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, because I have a feeling that the defensive coordinator and head coach are on the sideline screaming, no, no, no. Good play.
Yeah, good job, buddy. The Patriots send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Set to take over, the Broncos offense trots back out. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. Dances by him. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. 95 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
First down.
And what a tough spot for this defense, because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
Right back to Dobbins on first. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
And he'll get about 3 up past the 25.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, They want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Stidham looking to escape, but he'll go down. They got him. A loss of 3 on a sack made by multiple defenders.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Patriots take over. New England's offense set to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. Here comes 3rd down and 7. Looking to throw, May. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They'll try and throw for it with May. Gets this complete to Butte. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Henderson now on 1st and 10. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And Henry's going to pick up a Patriots 1st down as he'll get this down to the 36. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down. When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. To throw, it's May. Short pass caught by Henry. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 24-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Right back to Henry, and Henry's got it again. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the shotgun, they run with Henderson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Another big play in a game that's had plenty of them. 4th and 2. Henderson going to run for it. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute, because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. Now 1st and goal. Henderson is into the end zone. Touchdown, New England.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Now Andres Borregales for the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So with just over a minute to play, this becomes a make or break onside kick. And the Broncos are going to get the football. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that, just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Stidham. He'll get that complete to Franklin. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
The win for the Broncos, seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. What a ball game this was. What an atmosphere this was. And the home team getting the late touchdown, getting the victory, and now everybody in this building can file away with smiles on their faces.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location, location, location. So being at home, that can be a big deal because remember, they were down to their final chance advantage. I think it helped fuel all of what happened for them down the stretch. A huge win.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.